Hey, this is David Breslow back here with you again. I am the director and founder of Performance Success Strategies and the creator of Wired to Win, golf's most inventive and unique all-around performance program on the market today. So stay tuned for a moment. I will be back in a moment and talk to you about today's tip. In today's tip, I'd like to talk to you about a question, actually. Are you intelligent or are you wise? So if I asked you, if you and I were talking and I asked you if you were an intelligent golfer, what would you say? Chances are you would say yes, hopefully, and you are. Everybody I speak to is intelligent. But here's my second question. Do you consider yourself a wise golfer? 85% of the golfers I speak to answer this with a yes. Okay, so here's my next question then. My third question is, would a wise golfer sabotage themselves the way you do? Immediately, what I hear 100% of the time is no, no, right away, no. Now, here's what's interesting to me. I find this fascinating. Without ever knowing what I'm talking about by the word wise, I haven't defined it or did it, nothing like that. People immediately answer with a no, a very vehement no, by the way. And what that tells me is that their gut is telling them that if they were wise, whatever that means to them, if they were wiser, they probably wouldn't be hurting themselves the way they do right now on the golf course. So let's get this straight right now, okay? Intelligence has nothing to do with wisdom. And I'm often telling those who contact me for live coaching and even in the online program that the Wired to Win program is not going to make you a smarter golfer. It's not my intention. It's going to make you a wiser golfer. And I'll tell you this, wisdom trumps intelligence any day of the week. I'd much rather be a wise golfer than an intelligent one. So what do I mean by that? What does the wise golfer do that's different than the intelligent golfer? The wise golfer knows how to head off trouble, okay? The wise leader knows how to head off trouble. The wise person in life knows how to head off trouble. They look to create their performance, their conditions in their performance, versus learning how to deal with all their problems after those problems occur. You know, it's always amazed me in the over 25 years I've been doing this in the golf arena. There's this myth out there that continues to be pervasive that says, get good at managing. Get good at managing. You hear about it on all the TV when you're watching a tournament. You hear about it in books. You read about it in books. You read about it online. You read about it in articles. It's everywhere. Good golfers are good at managing their mind, their emotions, their body, and all that stuff. Of course, that matters. But there's this myth out there that says you got to get good at managing. That's what golfers don't get. What they don't understand, because they don't understand the mind-body relationship, that by thinking that way and believing that way, they actually expect, unconsciously now, you expect negative situations to come up on the golf course. And when they do, now you can feel really good about putting all your expensive little tips and theories and concepts that you've learned over the years into practice. Here's the irony for me. Most golfers think that this is normal. I don't. There's nothing normal about this, because if you truly understood the power of the mind, and if you really understood what it can do, you would begin to understand that because of that belief that you hold, that this is normal, that you're literally creating more and more and more situations and conditions on the golf course for you to put out the fire. That's what I call it, putting out the fire. So those who have gone through the Wired to Win program, they understand this. They no longer want to think about being a great problem solver. Before we got together, they used to think that being a great problem solver was the way to go. But they didn't understand that because of that, they were literally creating problems to solve. And so, they actually felt rational about all that and go, well, no, this is the way it should be. I have all these tips and these I have notebooks full of stuff with tips and theories and concepts, and now I can use them. But they don't realize that they're actually creating the fires. That's why when somebody calls me the first time, I ask them this question I'm kind of noted for. Do you want more tips and strategies and theories to put out your performance fires, or would you rather have fewer fires to put out? Everybody says, well, I'd rather have fewer fires. Okay, great. That's what we're doing. I'd much rather that you have fewer fires to put out. So when you do have some condition that really needs your attention, here's where I'm saying now, it's really important. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be equipped to manage situations on the golf course. I'm saying that you don't need to manage them all the time by creating them all the time. And when they do happen, the big ones, when they really show up, you want to conserve your energy and your clarity and your power to manage those situations when they come up. Yes, of course. So I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. It's a bit of a different conversation for a lot of golfers. They're so stuck on believing that this is completely normal. Completely normal. Man, I have to learn all these tips and strategies to manage myself. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you really understood what that belief was doing to you, take a look. You'll see that you're creating all of these situations and problems just so you can solve them. So if you think being a great problem solver on the golf course is great, I'd reconsider that if I was you. Here's the second thing that wise golfers do. They know they're more confident. They are more confident. Why? Because they now understand how all of this works internally. They understand how the mind-body relationship and emotion relationship, energetic relationship works. So now they understand they can self-correct in any situation on the golf course. They know how to quickly self-correct. They're in control. Isn't that what every golfer wants to be? In control? But for most golfers, when they're trying to be in control, they're at war with themselves. That's not an easy control. But when you understand what's really happening and how it works internally, you are in control. So let's take a look at you now. I have a couple of questions for you. Do you buy into the hypnotic belief that those performance fires I mentioned earlier are normal and that you have to put them out? You see, the golfer who searches for tip after tip after tip, I've spoken about this so many times. They read books, tip after tip after tip, workshop after workshop after workshop. And once again, let me remind you, I'm talking about the mental game, the inside game stuff now. I'm not talking about swing tips. So the golfer who continues to search tip after tip after tip, looking for that one magic cure, they believe exactly that. They believe that it's normal to have all of these performance fires and that it's normal to try to get better at managing them and putting them out. Well, I don't think that's normal at all. It's not. And if you enjoy playing golf that way, then good for you. But it's not the way I want to play golf, not the way anybody I know wants to play golf once they understand this and have a choice, which you do. So for today's tip, I'd like to ask you 3 questions, and then I want to give you something to do to create a better ideal of yourself. Question number 1. Ask yourself if you enjoy putting out fires all the time. Yes or no? Question number 2. Do you like accumulating notebooks full of tips and theories and concepts from everywhere you go and everything you read, everything you do, and everything you hear? Do you enjoy accumulating notebooks full of those things? Yes or no? Third question. This is important. Are you constantly preparing to play better golf or actually doing it? This is another fascinating thing to me. Without realizing it, so many golfers are in this constant preparation mode. Someday, I'm going to do, I'm going to be, I'm going to play, fill in the blank. And they're constantly preparing to reach their dream. And they're not going to reach it. You know why? Because constantly preparing to reach it is not reaching it. So answer this question honestly. Are you constantly in preparation mode to play the kind of golf you believe you can play? Or are you actually playing that way? And if you're not, why not? So here's what I'd like you to do for today. On a piece of paper, I'd like you to write this down and fill in the blanks. I want you to start to create the ideal of yourself. Write down number 1. The golfer I want to be is, and then under that, put these things. The golfer I want to be thinks this way. How is your ideal golfer, your ideal self as golfer thinking? How do you imagine yourself out on the golf course? What are you thinking? The entire round. What are you thinking? The golfer I want to be thinks this way. The golfer I want to be feels this way. How does that golfer feel? How does that golfer feel moving around the golf course? How does that golfer feel in every situation? Is he or she excited? Is he or she in positive anticipation? Is he or she enjoying themselves? How are you feeling? Your ideal golfer. How is your ideal thinking? How is your ideal feeling? And how is your ideal looking? How do you move around the golf course? Do you slump? Do you walk energetically? Do you walk upright with your head up, your shoulders up? How's your body language looking? Now, I never really address body language with people, but I'm mentioning it here now with you for this audio recording. Because once everybody knows how everything works inside, body language is automatically great. You don't even have to talk about it. But for purposes of today, what do you look like? Do you look like somebody who knows what they're doing? Do you look like somebody who looks like they're confident? Do you look like somebody who's looking forward to the next shot, to playing a great round? It's an energetic thing. What do you look like? How are you moving? So how do you think? How do you feel? What do you look like? Those are the 3 things I'd like you to fill in. And come up with a little paragraph. Write that paragraph down on a 3x5 card. Take it out to the range. Take it out to the golf course. Take a look at it. And if you wrote down things that make you feel good, which I hope you do, I'm assuming you will, then that stuff will start to get into your system and you will start taking that on. You will start taking that on. So again, let me recap real quick. 3 questions. Do you like putting out fires? Do you like accumulating notebooks full of tips and theories and concepts? Are you constantly in preparation mode, or are you actually playing better golf? Do you spend time preparing? Time, money, energy, constantly preparing, or are you actually playing better golf? And if you're not, why not? Why not? So again, this little ideal picture of yourself, the golfer I want to be, thinks this way, feels this way, looks this way. So that's what I'd like you to do. And this could have a very, very positive influence and benefit on you as you move throughout your golf life. Take a look and see what this feels like. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed today's tip and conversation. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, if you don't know anything about me or much about me, and if you want to learn more about the Wired to Win program, so you can become that wise golfer and stop relying on intelligence, because intelligence isn't where it's at, folks. You should see this by now. The intelligent golfer is not nearly as effective as the wise golfer. So if you want to know more about any of that, please visit me at www.mentalgolfcoaching.com. And I would love to get your feedback here in cyberspace, wherever you're listening to this audio. Would love to hear your comments and your notes. So Dave Breslow, my pleasure to be back here with you. Please take care. Bye.